Hey folks, Marieanne here, the Crochety Clogger. Hope you're all doing good. Thought I'd just come on today. Let me adjust this a little. There we go. I think that's better. Thought I'd come on here today, outside, my backyard, y'all. I know a lot of you, probably most of my subscribers know about the Hat Not Hate campaign that's going on right now. If by chance you don't know about it, you need to know about it. And it's all about bullying. It's a campaign against bullying. You can go, this is the first one I've made. Alright, so what we're doing, guys, is I gotta take it off. It's 80 degrees here in North Carolina today. Kind of warm. But what we're doing is we are committing to making blue hats that will be distributed to school kids, a lot of whom, and no, they all have different size heads. Most kids have a head as big as mine, and I have a small head, but you know what I'm saying. So commit to making blue hats. Blue is a color of solidarity, and even more than that, in this case, it represents not bullying. Be nice, you know, it's not that difficult. You can go to lionbrand.com to learn more about it, or you can go to HATNOTHATE.org to learn more about it. So please do. There are some specifications as to the circumference of the hats, and you can use any type of fabric that you wish, whether that is yarns, if you're a crocheter, if you're a knitter, if you knit on a loom. I would assume even seamstresses who love to sew. Blue fabric, as long as it's 75% blue, you know. And we have a deadline of August 1st, I do believe, to send them to the address that is mentioned on hatnothate.org or lionbrand.com. And then they will be distributed in the fall and winter of 2020 to kids around different schools. So that's the information. I will link all of that down below in the description box. But I'd like to speak a little bit more. If you don't want to hear my story, that's fine. You don't have to. You can stop the video right here. But if you do want to hear a little bit more about my story, this campaign, when I first heard about it, it kind of brought home to me. I started thinking about my life, and I started thinking about things. And when I was young, the thing that really hit me the most, I was in the 3rd grade, and I remember it like it was yesterday. We were on the playground during school, and well, first of all, you have to know that I am of German descent. I like to tell people that I'm made in America with 100% German parts. My parents were both German. And up to the time I was in the 3rd grade, I was proud to know my heritage. I was very, and still am, I don't know the word I'm looking for, very inquisitive about my heritage, very inquisitive about my family in Germany, because I don't have blood kin here in America. My parents are gone. Any blood kin that I did have here, which was very few, are gone. So yeah, I mean, my heritage means a lot to me, and I hope people understand that. It always bothers me when I see families bickering and fighting, and those that stay distant from another one of their relatives because they don't agree with something they did, and I disown them. And I'm like, you guys don't know what the hell you've got. Excuse my French, man, but some people, you don't know what you've got. And until you don't have it, you just don't know what you got. So, okay, back to the point. I'm sorry. In the 3rd grade, you know, somebody asked me, why does your mama talk like that? Well, she sounds so funny. I would explain, well, she's German. Is your daddy German? Yeah, my daddy's German too. Well, that makes you German. Well, yeah, I guess so. Well, why don't you talk like that? Well, you know, all those silly questions, which is fine. I answered them. I didn't mind. Well, then one day on the playground, 2 boys stomped their feet together, rose their hand in the air, Heil Hitler to me. And every time they'd see me, they'd do that. So I went home and I asked Mom, and so she taught me about Hitler, and she taught me everything all about that time, which she lived through and which my father lived through. Went back to school. Boys kept doing it. They just kept looking right at me and calling me Hitler and calling me a Nazi. And that hurt. At the time, I didn't think it was bullying. I really didn't. Because in my mind, bullying was someone who beats you up. And now I know that bullying is somebody that not only can physically beat you up, but somebody that can beat you up with words and make you feel less than. You know, it didn't take a whole lot for me. I've always been a wallflower. I've always been shy. The only thing that made me feel me was dancing. And I wonder now if those instances of word bullying may have made me so shy, may have made me such a wallflower. So anyway, I learned a lot about my parents then when I was young, and I'm glad I did. So let me share a story of my father with you. Since then, of course, you know, people understand that time, and people sympathize with those who lived through the Hitler regime. I'm not sure how old my dad was, but he was, I don't know, a tween, young teenager. He was sent to a Hitler hit camp. A Hitler youth camp. Let me get my words straight. I'm telling you this because I don't want to forget it. And maybe if I have it on black and white, if you will, I won't. I don't have my dad here to tell me anymore. And I probably don't know all the nuances. I don't remember all the things. He's one of 10 children. He was one of 10 children. And his family fled Hitler. His family moved from Germany to Siberia, to Hungary, to Bulgaria, to run away from Hitler. But then he was put in a youth camp. So the war was over. Everyone was declared free. The doors to the camp opened. That's it. Leave. All you young fellas, leave. He and 3 of his friends that he made while there left on foot. What were they going to do? They tried to find home. They tried to find food. They dug up little premature potatoes, got run off by farmers. They saw a van, an army green van, an American van, that was parked outside of a pharmacy, I believe. And it was a first aid van. It had the Red Cross on it. One of the boys that Dad was with looked inside the back doors of the van, which were standing open, and saw canned goods. I believe that's what he told me, it was canned goods. It was food of some sort. And Dad was like, no, 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 don't go in there. Two of the boys did go in there, and they scarfed up, 3 or 4 things that they could get. And they began to run. My dad along with them. They ran as fast as they could. And then shots were fired, and 2 of those young boys were killed. And my dad was right beside them. So, my point is, he found his way home eventually. No one was there, but he found his way home. My point being, don't bully people. I have another story. If you want to listen, it's fine. If not, just hit stop. But like I said before, I was always very shy, and from the time I was like 2.5 years old, I knew I was going to dance. I loved it. And so I would dance anywhere I could. And then Mom said, okay. I said, Mom, can I have my own little show on the front porch? And she said, sure. So she put me up in an old costume of mine, and we opened the doors and the windows, and she, put an old vinyl LP on the old console stereo. Remember those things? And she turned it up, and I went right out on the front porch. And I started dancing, and I thought, okay, here is my presentation to all of my neighborhood peoples, And oh, by the way, I was one of 2 girls in the neighborhood. The other girl could keep up with the fellas, not me. I was a girly girl. And I was constantly called sissy and prissy, and But that one day where I had my little mini recital on the front porch and was doing my dancing and my twirling, 2 of the boys who lived diagonally across the street from me came by on their bicycles, came up in the yard, looked at me for a minute, and I thought, okay, well, I'll keep going. I hope they're enjoying this, They picked up a couple of clumps of mud out of the yard and started throwing them at me. In hindsight, I wish I had been the kid that in my mind could have said, oh, you need to throw a little harder if you want to hit me. But I wasn't that girl. So what did I do? Boo! And run inside. And again, is that why I was always so shy? And I know I don't seem shy to you guys now, and I'm not. I've overcome a lot of this. There's still times, even in adulthood, that it can affect you, But I do know that at a very young age, I knew when I felt free and when I felt totally 110% me, and that was when I was on the dance floor, whether it was a stage, whether it was the dance studio dance floor, or whether it was the disco dance floor back in the day. It didn't matter, but that's when I knew I was me. I still feel that way. But I feel me sitting right here talking to you two. So, not to say things like this can't be overcome, but every day's a challenge for some people. So don't put them down. Don't put them down. And you don't have to be 12. You don't have to be a bully. You don't have to be 6 to be a bully. You can be 60 to be a bully. Watch what you say. Words mean something. Ears are open. Love who you are. Love who you are. Then maybe you can love others. Okay? So check out HATNOTHATE.org, lionbrand.com. And again, these hats can be made from any brand. If you use yarn, any brand of yarn. It doesn't have to be Lion Brand. Oh, let me show you what I have collected in the way of blue yarn. Hobby Lobby, because it's the closest to me. The one I made that out of, this one is called Stonewash. And I have dark country blue. This is all, I love this yarn from Hobby Lobby, the acrylic. Ooh, I love this one. Check this one out. This one is night blue. Look at all those pretty blues in there, and there's a hint of purple as well. But I'm sure it's at least 95% blue. What else did I get? What else did I get? I was gonna put them in all this in a pretty basket, but yeah. There's a Hobby Lobby bag. And this is called chambray. That's left over from a blanket I made. Ooh, this is kind of like the chambray, but a lot cooler. This is called denim. Ooh, I love that one. Oh, and check these out. I love these. This is called Oasis Beat. Oasis Beat. Isn't that pretty? The winds are blowing. And I thought this too. Check this out. That'll be kind of pretty together maybe. This is the metallic. It's got that sparkle in it. And this is called Teal Sparkle. Oh, look. Ooh, that's so pretty. Anyway, I'm ready to make some hats. I'm ready to make some hats. A whole lot more that has to be done other than hats. But, hey, I'm going to make some hats. So, oh, gee, I wish I could show you. I'm sitting out back and my kitty cat's in his catio. I think I'd make you too dizzy if I did. So anyway, folks, I love you all. And you know what? I love what Granny D says. Be sweet. Don't be ugly. I love that. That is like the best thing to say and to remember. Love everybody. There's always a reason. So keep your mind open. All right, folks. Maybe I'll get back on here tomorrow. Love you all.